The Zephyrian High Command had exhausted every option. 3 fleets destroyed, 7 diplomatic missions turned into paste, and their most advanced battle mechs reduced to decorative scrap metal. The humans had proven utterly impossible to defeat through conventional warfare. Perhaps, hissed Commander Vextha through his respiratory slits, we have been approaching this incorrectly. We send armies against armies, ships against ships, but humans are individuals. We must strike at the source, eliminate their leadership. The council chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Assassination. It was considered the lowest form of warfare among the Zephyrians. But desperation bred innovation. Send for Kethavar, Vextha commanded. The shadow of 1,000 deaths. Kethavar materialized in the chamber like smoke given form. Standing 8 feet tall with obsidian chitin covering his elongated frame, he was the most feared assassin in 7 galaxies. His forearms ended in razor-sharp claws that could slice through titanium, and his optical sensors could detect life forms through walls. He had never failed a mission. You require death. Kethavar spoke in a voice like grinding metal. It wasn't a question. The human leadership, Vextha confirmed. Our intelligence suggests their primary decision-maker resides at coordinates 40.7589 Grizen, 73.9851 W, in a structure called Brooklyn. Eliminate this leader, and their resistance will crumble. Kethavar's head tilted with predatory interest. What manner of warrior leads these humans? What defenses guard this stronghold? Unknown. Our scouts who ventured close enough to observe did not return. But we believe the leader to be female. Designation Nana Rose. Kethavar vanished without another word. The journey to Earth took 3 standard cycles. Kethavar spent the time sharpening his natural weapons and reviewing the limited intelligence. Brooklyn appeared to be a massive fortress city with millions of potential combatants. But every fortress had weaknesses and every leader could be reached. He infiltrated Earth's atmosphere under cover of darkness, his adaptive camouflage rendering him invisible to their primitive sensors. The coordinates led him to a modest structure of brick and mortar, clearly a decoy designed to mask the true nature of the command center within. Kethavar circled the building, analyzing its defenses. Strangely, there appeared to be none. No energy shields, no automated turrets, no patrol units. Perhaps the humans relied on subtlety. He scaled the wall with silent efficiency and found an entry point through what appeared to be a ventilation shaft. The interior was baffling. Instead of command centers and tactical displays, he found rooms filled with soft furnishings and primitive art. The air carried unfamiliar chemical signatures, something organic and warm. His thermal sensors detected a single life form on the lower level. Target acquired. Kethavar descended through the structure like a ghost, every sense attuned to potential traps. The life form remained stationary, seemingly unaware of his presence. Amateur. These humans truly were inferior if their leadership possessed such poor situational awareness. He rounded the final corner and froze. The target sat in a cushioned chair, small and elderly, with silver hair and wrinkled skin. She appeared to be manipulating some kind of fiber with metallic implements, possibly crafting weapons or communication devices. Her back was to him, completely exposed. This was their leader? This diminutive, fragile creature? Kethavar raised his primary arm, claws extending. One swift strike would decapitate her before she could even scream. The war would be over. You gonna stand there all night, Bubba, or are you coming in for some cookies? Kethavar's entire nervous system seized. She hadn't turned around, hadn't even looked up from her work. How had she detected him? I can hear you breathing, sweetheart. Come, sit. You look hungry. Slowly, the target, Nana Rose, turned in her chair. Her eyes were kind but sharp, the pale blue of aged steel. She looked him up and down without a trace of fear. Oy vey, look at you, all skin and bones, and those arms. What's your mother feeding you? Nothing, obviously. She stood with surprising speed and began moving toward what appeared to be a food preparation area. Sit, at the table. I am Kethavar, the shadow of 1,000 deaths, he found himself saying, I have come to... Shadow, Schmado. You're a growing boy. Look at those shoulders, you need protein. She was already pulling items from various containers. You like brisket? Of course you like brisket, everyone likes brisket. Kethvar's tactical analysis subroutines were failing catastrophically. This wasn't in any of his training scenarios. You do not understand. I am here to eliminate the empty feeling in your stomach, yes. When did you last eat? And I mean a real meal, not whatever space garbage you've been living on. She pointed a wooden spoon at him with unmistakable authority. Sit. Down. Against every instinct, every protocol, every fiber of his assassin training, Kethvar sat. 20 minutes later, he was consuming the most incredible combination of flavors his species had ever encountered. The brisket was accompanied by latkes and something called applesauce that made his optical sensors water with joy. So, Nana Rose said, refilling his plate without asking, You're here to kill me. I figured. The claws were a dead giveaway. Kethvar paused mid-chew. Yes. And who sent you? The tall ugly ones with the breathing problems? The Zephyrian. High Command believes eliminating you will end human resistance. Nana Rose cackled. Those schmucks think I'm in charge? Honey, I'm 73 years old. I'm in charge of making sure my grandson calls me once a week, and that Mrs. Goldstein from 4B doesn't steal my newspaper. That's it. But the intelligence suggested, intelligence from who? Let me guess. They saw me organizing the block association meeting and figured I was some kind of general. She shook her head. Boys and their assumptions. Kethvar felt something unfamiliar stirring in his consciousness. Confusion? Doubt? Then, who leads humanity? Nobody, Boobala. That's the point. We don't need someone to tell us to fight when someone threatens our families. We just do it. She reached across and patted one of his hands. More brisket? As Kethvar looked down at this small, gentle creature who had fed him instead of fleeing, who had shown him kindness instead of fear, he understood why the Zephyrians were losing. I should return to my ship, he said quietly. At this hour? Absolutely not. It's dangerous out there at night. You'll sleep in the guest room. She stood and began clearing plates. And tomorrow, you call your mother. When's the last time you called your mother? Kethvar, the shadow of 1,000 deaths, deadliest assassin in 7 galaxies, hung his head. It has been some time. I thought so. Mothers worry, you know. Even space mothers. Later, lying in a bed that smelled like lavender and home, Kethvar stared at the ceiling and composed his final mission report. Target eliminated my understanding of warfare, requesting immediate extraction and career counseling. Also, sending recipes. The next morning, Nana Rose packed him a lunch for the road and made him promise to write. As his ship lifted off, Kethvar looked down at the small brick house and finally understood what the humans were really fighting for. It wasn't territory or resources or glory. It was the right to have someone worry about whether you'd eaten enough brisket. The Zephyrians never did figure out why their greatest assassin retired to open a small restaurant on the Outer Rim, specializing in something called fusion comfort food. But word spread through the underworld that if you really wanted to hurt someone, you didn't send a killer. You sent them to Nana Rose for dinner.